This year I'm going to celebrate my 20th birthday on the Dragon's Path. When I was 18 years old, now I'm almost 38. Oh my goddess, I get old. So yeah, it's 20 years. It's such a, it has been an amazing time. Even though I don't come together, dragon witches don't come together. We don't have covens. We are not saying to one another what we should do and what we have to do or doing things together. No, that is not what a dragon witch does. A dragon witch does this, be alone with the dragon, listening to the dragon, being alone with Fafnir, being alone with Leviathan, being alone with Tiamat, and that is actually what we do. We just do it solitary. It's been a beautiful path. It has been happened a long, a lot inside of this all these years, and it has been a journey. That is what the Dragon's Path is. That is why I decided to call it a path. It's a journey that you take. And the journey is not over. Not even with death it's over. It's still going to continue. Every experience is something that you learn from. But how did it begin? Very simple, by an awakening. But it was not simply an awakening that, oh yeah, I found you. No, 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 no. It has been, 20 years ago, I was surrounded by darkness, surrounded by negativity. I even have some scars that I did with myself, that I can still remember where it all began. And that was just before I was awakened. All of these scars that I cut it myself because I was so confused. And my mom left me back in the day. And my dad, I didn't had much about my dad as well. I was about to lose my job. I was going into alcoholism, very young age, and yeah, I was in the darkest pit, you can say that. And so yeah, out of nowhere, this I saw a dragon image, an image that I still have on my dragon altar, and it did something with me. It was like I saw dragon images before, but this time it did something with me, like something inside of myself was like opened, but I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear whatever is opened. I didn't want to hear it yet. Still, I bought that image. There was something about it, but I didn't look at it too much, but because it did something to me, and I didn't know why. Um, my brothers and sisters, back in the day, I saw that little light. I was surrounded by darkness. I was surrounded and I didn't know how to handle it. Later, I was taught how to handle it, not by other people, but by Lord Leviathan. Lord Leviathan is a dragon god that came after Tiamat made herself known. Tiamat is my main dragon goddess. She's the mother of all dragons and my light. That was the light that I saw, the light of Tiamat that I saw inside of that image. I was guided to have that image and guided to let it be awakened me, to buy it so that it can awaken me, so that I would see that light, it would explode that light and it would chase the darkness away. But of course, later on, I came to know the deity that I call the father of all dragons, that is Leviathan. And Leviathan is a deity that I call the teacher of all dragons. He teaches us our darkest self, the darkest emotions that we can feel. Why I was going inside of alcoholism, why my mother... He even when I was in front of my dragon altar, when I thought of my mother that went away, I left a tear, and the things that she said that happened later on in her visions and dreams, it was how she described a big gigantic serpent inside the deepest of the oceans, and that was visiting her. She was somewhere afraid, and yet she was not. And how she knew it. I never told her about Leviathan. I never told her as well about the dragons. Yet she told me the perfect description of Leviathan. And everything changed. She came back to me and just everything, her entire personality changed. It was like it was a new person. It was because I was crying in front of my dragon altar. Dragon gods hear that. Whenever you are doing something and it's legit, it is with 100% sincerity, like I did, then they will listen to that. And of course, Lord Leviathan is one to understand, and that is because Leviathan knows who you are. Leviathan knows your light, but Leviathan knows your darkness. And no one, especially no one here in this world, in humanity, can handle their darkness, the darkness that they have. Of course, dragons can do that. And Leviathan wants that you can handle it too. Because as your draconic self, you have to handle your greatest darkness. And that is why I was led into where I am fighting for. I am fighting for those who are weaker in this world. And that is what dragons are. Dragons are great defenders. And that is also what Fafnir, that is a great example. Fafnir, the fire dragon, he was the greatest among the protectors and defenders. He was on his sculpture was on every church, on every boat, so that it would be protected by Fafnir. And Fafnir is also what I can consider as one of the 4 main dragon gods. The god of fire, the god of our soul, the soul that we have is eternal flame of Fafnir. Coming back to Leviathan, Leviathan is the dragon god that teaches us, and we don't have to be afraid. Of course, he is considered as demonic by people who are religious, but we don't have to see it. We have to experience it. We have to, and that is whenever you are awakened, you also somewhere have that Leviathan can hear this and see this. Leviathan is going to be coming to you no matter what or how. Leviathan will come to you when the time is right. So you cannot be prepared for his teachings. You can never be prepared for his teachings. What I've seen inside of the great void where he rules is something that you cannot describe in words. It changed me forever to who I really am. Leviathan will do this, not because out of punishment, so that you become your true self. And that is the great difference with Tiamat. Tiamat was the first light of the dragon that I've ever seen, but Tiamat was immediately talking to me. Tiamat was the reason why I was awakened so many years ago, but also the reason why I was awakened was because I was surrounded by darkness. And out of this darkness, I saw Tiamat's light better. But once I saw so much light, it was time again to dive inside of the darkness with Leviathan. So that there is so much, what I've seen as injustice inside of this world. That is what I've seen when I saw the darkness of Leviathan. And he showed it to me inside of my face. This is who you really are. And this is how you have to change the world in your image. Be the change that you really want to see in this world. A lot of people, they don't understand how the dragon's path should be. Most of the people say, dragons, fantasy, and dragons, Game of Thrones, and blowing fire, and crap like that. And I understand this because they are raised that dragons are fantasy. But dragons, they teach us so many morals. And not the morals of other people, not the morals of some kind of an organization. No, the morals that you hold, the morals that is dear to you, that you don't even know that you had them, but you just didn't care. But once you are awakened, you know what dragons really are? Dragons are protectors. Dragons are defenders. They do everything for what they hold dear. Their houses, their place to live, their children, their family, their friends, that is where they are protected. They are protecting that 100%. Of course, that is what I'm fighting for. And Leviathan showed everything. This is your battleground. This is what you have to leave behind in this world as a human, but also as a dragon. And as a dragon, it's not that, you are in an image of a human, so use that experience, but also never forget that your spirit is also draconic, that you have to mix it, both of them, that you have to collaborate, that you have to work together, you get together in this world. And Leviathan is the one that will teach you how to be one with the darkness, but not the darkness, not just random darkness. And a lot of people don't seem to understand, once they make this error in the beginning of their dragon's path, to think, oh yeah, I believe in dragons, and that's it. Oh my goddess, it's much deeper than that. It goes further on. It goes so deep that you don't even understand what is going on. In the beginning of my path, I wasn't deciding, oh, now I believe in dragons and that's it. No, it was an awakening. I didn't see this world as the same thing anymore. It was, I saw this world with dragon eyes. And once I came to meet my light, but also later on my darkness, I came to meet my light to know where I belong in the dragon realm. But I came to meet my darkness to know where my battleground was, who my enemies were, who is the one I should fight against, and what to leave behind in this world. This is where I'm fighting for. This is my fight. I don't know where your fight is, but dragons are fighters, dragons are defenders, dragons are protectors. Dragons are not these fantasy beasts that just burn down villages. You know what dragon fire is, my brothers and sisters? That is Fafnir. Fafnir, the one that is born just in skin and bones, but later on changed into a dragon, and later on became one with fire once he was released from his spell. And he became one with fire, eternity, so that our fire inside of our soul is that of the dragon themselves. And later on, I came to meet another dragon god, four dragon god, each for every element. The fourth one was Quetzalcoatl, the one that was really adored and worshipped in Aztec America, in Mexico. And he taught me the values of compassion and the light inside of the darkness that Leviathan showed. I know I know my soul now. I knew my fire, the fire I could breathe. I knew my light. I knew the darkness. I knew my battle. And later on, Quetzalcoatl showed me also compassion and love. Out of the darkness, you come also with a lot of compassion and light in itself. There is a perfect balance with dragons. And dragons has to be taught with that balance, the balance of light and dark, that we have to just be taught by the dragon gods. I worship the dragon gods as well. I worship them, but I worship them as some kind of parents, that they lead us inside of this world. It seems this world is not made for us. And it is. This world is actually not made for us. We belong in a different realm, far, far away, very far away. But we cannot just go there. We need to tell our story. Our story here must continue under the shadow of the dragons that belong inside of your dragon circle, your dragon eye. These are not random dragons that are surrounding you. These are the dragons that are your guides, your teachers, the ones that showed you your love and showed you also your darkness. And you can say, this darkness scarred me. Yes, it is scarred me. But that is the entire point, that how it all started. It started with the darkness, but it was human darkness. And later on, out of the darkness, I saw light, Tiamat. And later on, out of this light, I was diving again inside of the void to be taught by Leviathan, to be prepared for darkness, to be one with it, not to fight it, but to be one with it. So I know what I needed to do. And later on, I came to know my power, my eternity, my soul. I came to know it all because of Fafnir. Fafnir that was born just like anyone else, but later on became the dragon and became the dragon for all eternity. The fire dragon, Fafnir, lives inside of every single one of us. And later on, Quetzalcoatl is the one that showed me my path, the path of compassion, the path of mercy, the path of that I should just should protect injustice. I mean, that go against injustice and show it to people that they shouldn't be bullies. Simply as that. You know, these are the teachings of the dragons. And that is something that annoys me, to be very honest. Um, it annoys me that people see the dragon as fantasy, like roleplay, and that is it, nothing else. There is no moral, there is no story, just dragons. And I love Game of Thrones, and I never saw that, my brothers and sisters. I never saw that. I never even loved it. I've never seen the dragon on screen, to be very honest. Real dragons. Because later on, I came to know the real dragons. And they are as beautiful as their mind is. Pure, uh, protective, um, and if they have a bond, it's going to be eternal. You know, that is something with humans that you cannot even imagine how eternal that is, how beautiful that is. You know, it's all about balance. And if you say, and that is the most demonized of them all, that is Tiamat, but also Leviathan. But Leviathan has to be understood as one of the main four dragon gods. It can be even that it can be your main dragon god. It can be that you are a child of Leviathan. You are a child of the darkness, and yet out of the darkness cannot hurt you. The darkness can do nothing to you. But of course, with me, first I saw the darkness, then I saw the light, then I saw the darkness again. I knew what my battleground was. I knew my battleground here in this world. Later on, I knew what my power was, and I knew what my path was. My brothers and sisters, be blessed.